I spent $120 on this refurbished NES from eBay. Let's get it opened up and see what it looks like and if they actually refurbished it. So this is the NES I bought from Greenlight Vintage on eBay. I paid $120 for it. It comes with a controller and a TV cable. The interesting thing about this seller is, number one, he has 100% positive feedback, which is very difficult to do on eBay, so that's pretty impressive. He also says that every mainboard is cleaned with an ultrasonic cleaner. All the capacitors and power regulators are tested and confirmed working or replaced. The AV power jack are removed, cleaned, and resoldered. All of the onboard chips are inspected for points of failure. He also says that they cleaned the shell of each and every console by hand. We'll be the judge of that. Let's get it opened up and see what it looks like. So one of the things that I noticed when this came is I'm not convinced it's packaged very well. I don't know about that. The reason that I found and bought from this seller is because they left a comment on one of my other refurbished NES videos, so I decided to check them out on eBay, and it looks pretty good what they're doing, but I have to see this console and see if it's actually what they say it is. Okay, so we got it all ready, so it looks like this one has been tested and working on 3.2. That's not too long after I bought it, so that's a good thing. The first thing I'm going to do after I get this out is plug it in and see if it does actually work. Okay, so far, everything looks decent. It does, I don't like that this stuff is just around in here. They didn't put any packaging in the actual box of the NES. Comes with the power cable, the TV cables, and one controller. And then we have the unit itself. And I mean, this doesn't look amazing, that's for sure. It's got a lot of scratches on it. What else? I mean, I don't see anything broken, that's good. Oh, never mind, we got something broken. We got a little broken edge right there. I can say that it does look mostly cleaned, although, well, let me see if this comes off right here. Let's get it in the light so you can see it. So far, I've reviewed refurbished NES game consoles from DK Oldies and Lukey Games. Now I decided to get one from eBay and see the condition of that one. I wasn't completely happy with the condition of the DK Oldies NES. The Lukey Games NES was a lot better, but if this eBay seller does all the things that he says he does, this NES should be in much better condition. Yeah, there was some sort of debris on there, or some sort of dirt. You can see the Q-tip. We got a little bit of dirt. I mean, that's not too bad. It's kind of nitpicky, but you know, it does say that it's been hand cleaned, so there's some sort of like adhesive on this grill here. I'm not even, yeah, it's like adhesive that was on there that I'm cleaning off with the Q-tip with some isopropyl alcohol. Not really any good way to show that on the Q-tip or the camera, but okay, so I mean, it's clean-ish. It definitely could be cleaned better. I feel like they probably, at a minimum, at least took like a, you know, a paper towel with some Windex or something and cleaned it off. So, I mean, that's not too bad. It definitely hasn't been deep cleaned, but let's take a look at the controller and see the condition of that. And another controller with something rattling around on the inside. Let's take a look at the outside real quick. All right, we got quite a few scratches. There's some black marks over here. Let's see if the black marks come off. I mean, let's try it. Yeah, mostly. There's a little bit of a black mark there, but that actually comes off. So this definitely could be cleaner. It's not horrible. It is very scratched. And there's some pretty deep scratches and gouges in it, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely workable and playable, but it definitely could use a better cleaning. Let's get this one apart and see what that rattling is. So I was going to take this apart. I noticed some gunk on this cable. It could be just paint. I'm not totally sure. Let's find out here. I mean, my Q-tip is definitely getting brown. Yeah, that comes off. So again, I mean, not the end of the world, but this cable is definitely dirty. A lot dirtier down here, so you can see there's a lot of, I mean, you can see there's a lot of gunk on that cable. So not my favorite thing, not the end of the world. Let's get this apart now. Okay, and let's get the back off. Nothing in there that's rattling around. Let's see if we can figure out what it was. Okay. I don't know what was rattling around in here. Oh, there we go. A piece of wire. Where did that come from? I have no idea where that would have came from. Let's have a look under the button pads. A little grimy. That definitely could be cleaned better. Those ones aren't too bad. And let's look at these ones. Similar. Not too bad. They're definitely, you know, they could be cleaner, but they're not that bad. This one I am going to clean before I put it back together, though. Just because I already have it apart, so why not? The other ones actually don't look too bad. That yellow actually looks like some kind of stain on here, so it's not coming off with IPA. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to get this back together, and then we can actually start up the NES and see if it's going to work. Got it all plugged into the TV, plugged into power. The best game ever made, Super Mario 3. That is nice and clean. I cleaned this on camera in another one of my videos, and we've got a business card stuffed in there. Okay. Think it's going to work? I really hope it does. With the condition of this one, at least if the seller did what they said they did, this should start right up. That game has been 100% clean and there's nothing wrong at all with the game. So hopefully it'll start right up. It did not. Looking for a signal. We got a red blinking light. Okay. Let's try it again. Not looking good so far. Nothing. Okay, we'll take the game out and reinstall it just because sometimes these games and 72 pins are kind of finicky. Let's try it again. And definitely not working. We got a flashing red light again. Yeah, and just no matter what I do, the light is just flashing red. This is not looking good so far. Let's get this thing apart and see if we can figure out why. Oh, there we go. Okay, we did get it working. I feel like I have to just put the game in just right for it to work. Let's see if it'll work now. Okay, it's working again. Back to blinking red. If I put the game all the way in, then it doesn't work. If I put it in just part way, oh, it doesn't work either. There we go. So if I put the game just barely enough in for it to push down, then we get it to come up on the screen. Let's take a look at the inside and see if we can figure out why. Now it is missing one of the feet. It's not a big deal, but I mean, if you're gonna call it refurbished, I feel like it should have all the pieces, you know? Okay. Everything's loose. Let's take the top cover off. Actually, let's have a look at the inside of the top cover. And this actually looks really clean. So I think this definitely was cleaned on the top anyway. That's nice and clean on the inside. It looks like all the screws are here. We do have this top cover, which is nice. The one from DK Oldies didn't even have the top cover and was missing some screws, so it's nice to at least have all the parts. The inside so far looks mostly clean. We'll see once we get these covers off here. Okay, and top cover comes off. Okay. The 72 pin is definitely dirty. Let's take a Q-tip and some IPA, clean this gunk off and see if we can see what it is. It's kind of strange. Yeah, it's a little brown, not too bad though. Okay, so some of that's just staining. It looks like some of the pins on this 72 pin definitely have a problem though. That's a little worrying. So let's take this thing apart the rest of the way so we can have a better look at that. And just after I said it wasn't missing any screws, we've got two missing screws, one right here and one right here. They put one here and one here, but it still is missing a couple. Now we have enough screws off, we can get this piece off. Okay, and some more kind of like, oh, that's some sort of residue we have going on down there. Not sure what that is. All right, now let's get this 72 pin off. Let's see if it's the original or if it's an aftermarket. There we go. And we do have a little star right here. From what I've heard, if it has this, that means it's original. I don't know for sure if that's true or not. That's just what I've heard. And some of these pins are definitely bent way down. It looks like maybe someone did wash this with something and then left some, there's some sort of debris up in here. Yeah, you can see it right there. I don't know what that's from. Probably some sort of cleaning agent they used on this. Now looking at the rest of the inside of this and the board, I mean, it all looks clean at least. That's definitely good news. So, I mean, it looks like so far they maybe do what they say they do. Let's have a look at the other side here. Let's get this cover off and have a look at this board. And the board itself definitely looks nice and clean. I don't see any issues here. And I think they probably do actually put this through some sort of a cleaner because there's just no dust at all and no debris, no hair, no anything. It is nice and clean. And same with the inside of the case. So I'm not worried about that at all. Let's take a look at this 72 pin though. This, I think, is where our problems are. So the first thing that's very clear is we got some major problems over here. This pin is bent way down. These pins have, you know, whatever that just kind of like residue is from cleaning, I'm assuming. So that's definitely a problem. I'm just going to go through and rebend all of these pins so they're further up, just so we know that's not a problem. These definitely feel like original pins. They're nice and stiff. The aftermarket ones just are not that stiff. This pin actually is kind of, each leg of this pin is bent under the other one. So let's see if we can fix that. That is definitely a problem. I don't think it's like a major problem, but we want each of these legs to stand on their own. And this pin over here also has a similar issue to that other one. These two pins actually have a little bit of rust on them too. So I'm going to use a little bit of sandpaper to fix that. That's looking much better. Those pins are in so much better shape. It looks like I need to bend these two up a little bit more as well. There we go. Oh, no, that might be a little too far. There is one small broken piece of plastic right here. These each have kind of like a plastic separator that is broken right there. I don't think that's a big issue. Okay, now I just need to use a little bit of sandpaper to clean off these pins and get this residue and the rust off of it. I think this thing's going to be in pretty good shape after that. And this is a 1000 grit sandpaper. Very, very fine grit. I just need enough to get the residue off, but I don't want to actually take off any more of the plating than is absolutely necessary. I want to mostly just clean off the residue. Need to bend this one up just a little bit more. It's not getting as clean because it's not bent up quite as far. There we go. Okay, then a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on all of these. Help clean any debris that's in there. Just get that all off of there. And we'll go with a little BW100 after that. Since the BW100 is in the spray can, I can spray it all in there. And that'll go a little bit further in there than I can get with anything else. Okay, and those pins look nice and clean. Just want to make sure all the rust is off of this one. If there's rust on that pin, that can cause a bad connection. So I think I got it all, but I want to make sure and get everything off of there I can. If it's not, then we need to scrub it down some more with some sandpaper, or keep using this pick and IPA or BW100. I think we're pretty good though. It looks like we got most of it off of there. Okay. Now, this 72 pin is going to create a much better connection with the game. Let's get this back installed and see if this will fix it. Now, normally I might clean these off too, but these actually look really clean, and I know this board has been cleaned. It might have been cleaned with the 72 pin on it. I'm not totally sure on that, but they look really clean, so I don't expect to have any problems with those. just have one more thing to take care of. I just noticed this looked kind of grimy when I was putting it back together, so I want to see if I can clean that off. Not a big deal, it's just one of those things I noticed and I'm like, ew. Yeah, that's getting better. I don't necessarily expect these things to be scrubbed like this, you know? I mean, I expect them to be clean, but this would take a long time to go through and scrub each piece like this. But you have to admit, that looks pretty good. Okay, now it's all back together. Let's plug it in and see if my fix got it to work. Okay, game in. Oh yeah, those pins are super tight, which is a good thing. Is it gonna start up though? Oh, first try, no problem. So this just had some pins on the 72 pin that were a little rusty and some that were bent down way too far. If you're gonna be selling refurbished products, it's super important to make sure what you're selling actually works when the customer gets it. You know, in my opinion. If you want to see the other two videos I made about the refurbished NES from two other companies, I'll put a playlist for that up on your screen now so you can come hang out with me over there and see the condition of those Nintendo NES systems. If you want to check out our new merch, go to TronicsFix.com. Thanks again for watching today, and I hope you have a good one. Oh, should I play for a little while? I don't know if I have time. It won't hurt to play a level or two, right? Ah, missed it. And a star.